My besties! I'm here to do a Valentine's Day reading for you. Not for whoever you're connected to, but for you. Oh dear, something about, if you're new here, hello. There's something that comes over me when I put on a Care Bear outfit. I don't know what it is. Well, this is just a hoodie. But if you're new here, I dressed up as, people often call me a Care Bear. Or like, it's like I'm a Care Bear. And I resonate with being a Care Bear. And on Halloween, I had the cheer Care Bear thing. And then my daughter, the same day, was like, I want it. And she asked if she could wear it for a little while, and then I never saw it again. So I bought myself another one because a couple of you said that I should do, like, every now and then I should do a reading in a Care Bear outfit. If I had it my way, I would be wearing some sort of like magical, spiritual Care Bear cousin unicorn outfit, but one doesn't exist yet. So I'm wearing this one. See the ears? Hello. But anyway, something, you know how some people who act on stage, they say like it makes them more comfortable when they're dressed up as someone else or whatever. Anyway, something just comes over me when I do a reading in a Care Bear hoodie. So, do you know what Care Bear I am? Purple, highly intuitive Care Bear. Third eye chakra. But no, I'm Share Bear. Share Bear. Look, the hearts for Valentines. But anyway, if you are triggered by happiness, this might not be your reading. I used to be triggered by happiness when I wasn't happy. So look, high five, boop. But anyway, I wanted to come and do a reading on Valentine's Day for you. Again, not having to do with anybody you're connected to, but with you, because a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on romantic love, right? And we can feel unworthy if we don't have love in our lives, and that's just not true. I think that the most important love in the world can be self-love. And it's funny because I did a channeled message before this, and there were all these messages coming out, or downloads coming through about self-love. So I don't know if you want to watch it, but do you hear the bike outside? Anyway, I'm here to love on you. So again, if you're triggered by happiness, this might not be the reading for you. But yeah, I think self-love is very important, and it's something that I think that they should teach, right, in school. Instead of cramming our minds full of math, they should really teach us about self-love. I'm actually homeschooling my kids, and they're taking a course. One of their courses that they take are social emotional learning, which is excellent, I think. But anyway, so today it's about you. And if you're feeling lonely today, I'm with you in spirit. I have a lollipop for you. I'm here to share my energy with you. Take it. Only if you want it. I kind of imagine whenever I say I am free from the judgment of others. Yes, I am. It's so freeing when you stop caring about what other people think. That was an affirmation that popped down. What was I saying? I don't remember, but I think it's important that we show ourselves love as well. So this is going to be a reading about what makes you amazing, because you are amazing, and you don't need somebody else's validation or love to make you feel amazing, right? The love that you've been looking for has been within you all along. Boop. So I'm going to, very weird, while I was thinking about and meditating about this reading yesterday, I was doing my thing, completely quiet in my room, thinking about this reading, and a box fell off my tarot shelf. And I thought, that's interesting. and it was a very specific tarot box. So it's called Magical Hours Tarot, Magical Hours. And this is the one I'm going to use for you because, like I said, when I was reflecting and meditating about doing this reading, the box of this randomly fell off my shelf for no reason at all. And I'm like, that's a sign, right? So we're going to get some tarot for you. I'm going to get an animal card for you. Then I have this deck that I'm going to get for you, Magical Spirit, the Brilliance of You. So we're going to get a card from this deck, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe more. And then I have affirmations for you, okay? And yeah, allow me to love on you a little, please. But anyway, I am here to pump you up, full of love. What's come over me? All right, so let's get you an animal card. Let's see why you're so amazing. You have many reasons. There's many amazing things about you. You know what? Can you do me a Flavor Flav? Do you guys remember him? Flavor Flav. Do me a little Flavor Flav. And can you get a piece of paper and a pen, or you can use a notes app, or whatever you use in your phone. And can you just do me a really big favor? You can even do it in my comments. That's a good one. Do it in your comments, my comments. Can you tell me 5 things you love about yourself? Can you do that? It can be hard. That's annoying. It can be, there's somebody outside. It can be really hard if you're struggling or you are lacking self-love. It can be really hard to find 5 things you love about yourself. So if you're struggling, I'm sending you love. And if you're struggling to find things you love about yourself, it can be simple, right? It can be as simple as, I love the eyes that allow me to see, right? I love my nose that allows me to smell. You know, just keep it simple. But for those of you who want to challenge, 5 to 10 things you love about yourself, 5 to 10 things that you feel, 5 to 10 things that you feel are amazing about you or magical about you. And that can be very difficult. Like maybe you grew up in a household where you didn't get reinforcement or validation or words of encouragement. Maybe you were criticized as a child. That noise outside. So I know it's not bothering you, but it makes it harder to channel. So anyway, if you grew up in a situation like that, or maybe you were in a love situation where somebody wasn't seeing your worth, right? It can be very, it can be hard. So that's my challenge for you today. And I'm looking forward. I'm going to be in my comment section looking for people bragging about themselves. Remember, speaking nicely about yourself is not bragging about yourself. And that's sometimes when we grow up without that support, it can feel like you're bragging. Like that's been a hard one for me, right? But I'm looking forward to seeing all of the amazing things you tell me about yourself. No pressure. You don't have to do it if you're not feeling up to it. But I think that's a good idea, like to do, if you can't do it every day, like maybe a couple of days a week, just take some time to write down things that you love about yourself. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, we're going to get an animal card first. Ooh, the black egg. Maybe you're able to see the truth in situations, the black egg. All right, so let's see. It's time to love on you. And maybe you have a hard time receiving love. Like maybe you, oh, nice. Maybe you are a giver, right? Maybe you're more comfortable. I talked about this in that love reading. Maybe you're more comfortable giving love and you find than receiving. And you find yourself in situations where you're always giving and you're not seeing that reflected back to you, you know? The way, what I'm learning is the relationship we have with ourselves is the relationship and the energy that we'll call in. So if you have a hard time loving on yourself, you know, you may call in a connection where you're able to give to it, but then you're not seeing that reciprocated back to you. And there's so many lovable things about you. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of healthy love. Actually, that reminds me, when I get the tarot about why you're so amazing, I'm also going to get just a couple of cards about why, or like what love you are worthy of, so that you understand what to look for, or you know, you're worthy of healthy love. You're worthy of reciprocity, of kindness. But yeah, we have the hummingbird on the bottom. Beautiful. So this is beautiful. So the hummingbird, so you have a very healing energy, a very magnetic energy. And that, you know, when you struggle with positivity, it could feel like you're attracting the wrong type of energy, or when you struggle with self-love. This is, you know, this is an energy of positivity, a very healing energy. Let me look at it. The hummingbird. Maybe you have a hard time slowing down, right? With the hummingbird, I think of how really you gotta use your power tools. Maybe you're good with power tools. Anyway. Ooh. Spiritually resourceful. So, if you don't feel this way, trust this energy is within you. And sometimes to find our self-love, to find our light, we have to work through our shadows, healing. That's why I've been reading from that healing book. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Smart, curious, loves to learn. Maybe you like learning about things you like learning about, right? For me, you know, I thought it was because I was autistic, but I also saw Robert Grant. Do you guys know who that is? Robert Edward Grant. He was talking about how some spiritual beings struggle in school because that's not what they're on this earth to learn. They're on this earth to learn spirituality. So they're kind of like, it's almost like their brain rejects learning about, like I mentioned, math. But like maybe you struggled in school like I did. I really struggled in school. Like, and I used to be very ashamed of it. I'll just say it. I feel like this is going to be freeing for me to say out loud. I didn't finish high school. I was going through a lot of trauma in my life. I struggled in school. I ended up dropping out. And that's something I've been ashamed for all my life. And I just felt like I needed to say that out loud because I'm no longer ashamed of it. But maybe you struggled in school to learn things like things that you weren't interested in, right? Like math, like science. Hey, if you like math and science, you're amazing. But because of that, I always felt like I was a failure, or I always felt like I wasn't smart. And if you've been here since the beginning, you know that I used to talk about how I wasn't smart. I'm not book smart, blah, blah, blah. I'm whatever. Programmed thinking. So I spent my life thinking that I wasn't capable of being smart or learning. But when I got to the age where I could learn about what I wanted, like spirituality, for example, but if I was interested in it, I loved to learn about it. So one of my blockages when it came to tarot was like, I'll never be able to learn it. But because I was interested in it, like I just love learning about anything spiritual, right? Anything like symbolism and stuff like that. So maybe, maybe you're taking a course or a class. Inside the tining, I'm making up words now. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather the nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. So one of the things that's very good about you, and again, if you don't feel this way, it's within you. You know how to rejuvenate yourself. You know how to self-regulate. Like, I know what I need to rejuvenate. I need alone time. And that's common with spiritual beings. It's common with autistic people, where, you can only handle so much human interaction, muggle interaction, and then you need to kind of like be alone to recharge your battery. But whatever rejuvenates you, right? Where are we? This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually it involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. So you could be someone who, really savors things or enjoys the little things in life, or, really appreciates it. So, and if you struggle with that, creativity can help you. It can help you enter a flow state. So doing something creative, whatever that is for you. As simple as coloring, right? I always mention coloring. So beautiful. We also have the cheetah. So the cheetah is about forward movement. It's about taking action. So I feel like one of your strengths is when you know something is aligned with you, you take action. But the thing about the cheetah is that its light shines from the inside out. So once you find your light, you glow. So I believe that you glow. I believe others are attracted to your energy here. Very beautiful energy. And then we have the phoenix. So you're probably familiar with phoenix energy. You are able to overcome any situation. And maybe you feel like maybe your ego tells you that there are things you can't overcome. Or maybe sometimes you have moments where you feel, I'm not going to be able to overcome this. But you're sitting here right now listening to me, which means any blockage you've had in your life, any roadblock, you've overcame it. In one way or another, you're still here. You're still here. You're listening to this reading. It takes strength to listen to a reading, especially if you struggle with self-love. It would take a lot of inner strength for you to watch a reading that's just about you, not just watching a reading about like someone else, right? A love reading. The energy of the phoenix, powerful. So it feels like you've learned a lot in your life, as many spiritual beings have, right? A lot of spiritual people are people who had a lot of wounding or past life wounding, ancestral wounding, generational trauma, and have healed that and risen like the phoenix. All right. I'm also seeing the deer. So the deer is very like Queen of Pentacles energy, very compassionate, gentle, loving, nurturing, would make an excellent parent, okay? So I feel like that's another thing for some of you, that you're an amazing parent, that you're doing things differently for your kids. If you don't have kids, you're an amazing fur baby mama or papa or parent for those non-binary people out there. So yeah, let's get it. The bear and the cobra. You could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You don't have to be. Oh, that's the bear. The bear is Earth. What was the other one I saw? The cobra. You could be fire, Earth signs. Anyway, the bear, Care Bear. You could be a Care Bear. That's what I want to come back as in my next life, a Care Bear. I already am a Care Bear. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. The bear. So, one thing that's amazing about you is you have known what it's like to struggle, right? I think of the bear who, bark, 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 goes, hang on. All right, where were we? So the bear, so it feels like you have gone through hard times. I think of the bear, how it hibernates and it comes out of that hibernation and like you can see its bones and things. Bears to me can represent healing. So that's one thing that's amazing about you is that you're not afraid to go within and heal, which there's so many people in this world who don't have that strength. And I send them compassion. It takes a lot of strength to heal and look within, a lot of courage. Anyway, and this is also about an awakening. So that's another thing that's amazing about you is that you are an awakened soul. You're not asleep, right? And I love that. You wouldn't be here if you weren't an awakened soul. You wouldn't be watching this video. We also have the cobra. So I think that you've been through a lot of experiences where you've had to learn lessons, right? And the cobra is very symbolic of a wise soul. You're very wise. People could probably tell you, oh, you're such an old soul, or you're so wise, right? It comes from life experience. Past life knowledge, too, is what I'm hearing. But this cobra is about learning lessons. And when you're ready to learn the lesson, the teacher appears. So when you're ready to learn a lesson, it's like spirit sends someone in your life and you learn a lesson from it. So you could be someone who's, we talk about it all the time around here. You could be someone who looks for the lessons in things, instead of getting in that victim mindset. Why is this happening to me? Why does my life suck? Blah, blah, blah. I used to be one of those people. I come from a family of them. You look for the lesson in it and you integrate the lesson for your own growth. And you could be a very good teacher, right? You could do something where you teach others, or you have, maybe you've taught important lessons to other souls. Maybe you're meant to be a Hierophant, a mentor to others, a healer, a light worker. Mission! This one's beautiful. We have the horse. So clearly you have strong intuition. And when you're in balance, I believe that you trust your intuition. But maybe when you're out of balance, you feel weak and you don't trust your intuition. This horse, very free-spirited, all right? So I feel like you've broken free from the matrix, the programming, the conditioning, right? Free spirit. You march to the beat of your own drum, right? The horse is someone who never gives up, right? And that's what I was saying. With the phoenix, you're sitting here right now. You've never given up. You've never allowed anything to overcome you. You're still here. Even if you had, bad, past experiences that maybe you don't feel like you overcame them, but you found a way through them, it's the same thing, okay? Bear is pumped up right now. He's trying to pump you up. Anyway, you could also be someone who's very dedicated to meditation or physical strength. So that's another amazing thing about you is, your power to meditate, your power to go within, your power to work on, maybe you're very into fitness. I used to be very judgmental about fit people, right? I'd be like, don't they have a life? Why are they running in the rain? I'm completely different now because, again, when you judge someone, it's showing you a lesson. So I used to judge people who were fit and like to work out and go to the gym and run in the rain. And now I'm a completely different person. When I am in my van and I see someone who's out jogging and they're at like a stoplight and they're like running in place. I'm like, yeah, got to keep that heart rate up. Go, buddy, go. But anyway, the horse, very free-spirited, follows their intuition, achieves anything, never gives up. And even though these energies are coming out, if you don't feel these energies, I'm here to tell you they're within you, or else you wouldn't be listening to this. But even though you feel these energies, we all have ups and downs where we feel the shadows of them. So maybe sometimes you do, feel weak and feel like giving up. But again, the proof is in the pudding. Do you guys like pudding? I like pistachio pudding. Actually, I do. Pistachio pudding is good. And vanilla pudding. Taurus, I like food. But again, the proof is in the pudding. You're sitting right here. So you haven't given up yet. There's so many beautiful cards here. We have the buffalo. Hierophant energy. Strong, stable, resourceful, spiritual, heavenly yet grounded. Beautiful. You could be a Taurus. The buffalo. Again, it's giving me Hierophant energy. So very spiritually wise. Again, mission. I saw a video the other day. Actually, if you're watching this, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about because I mentioned it. But I saw a video the other day of somebody saying, didn't trigger me, don't worry. I saw a video the other day of someone saying, like, just because you enjoy healing doesn't mean you have to help heal others. And I get it, like pushy healing people, right? Says the woman sitting here in a Care Bear costume. But it's different. I'm not forcing you to watch this. You're making the conscious choice to watch it. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. The message was not everybody is meant to be a healer. Maybe you're just here to learn the lesson and heal yourself. I do not believe that. I don't want you to feel pressured to heal others, but if you feel called to help heal others, you have that calling for a reason. F what anybody else says, right? The buffalo. Did I just open right up to that? That's weird. Grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. So that's another thing, Just because you're spiritual, you're still practical. You know that, it's not toxic spirituality. It's not toxic positivity. So even though you're spiritual, you're also practical. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise towards the heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. And maybe in the past you didn't see that, right? But when you're spiritual, practical, that you do see the lesson in things. You see blockages as an opportunity to do something differently or take another route. You see endings as the potential, like this, something ended. It means it wasn't aligned with me. It's leading to a new beginning. Very lovely, lovely energy. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time. So it's also not a constant thing, but when you need it, when you come to a hardship, right, you don't give up and you find a way to make it through. May we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. So you do see the gift in things, the gift in life. And again, probably some of you, like I resonate with it, probably you had to work to get to this energy, right? It doesn't come naturally, right? It doesn't come naturally. It comes through growth. It comes through healing, through spirituality, through awakening. When out of balance, restless and lacks gratitude. Nice. And then we have the oyster. Your cards are beautiful. Like all my favorite cards are coming out. The only one that's missing is the dolphin. Not the dolphin. What am I talking about? The unicorn. The oyster. So you are a precious gift to this world. You have magic within you. The only thing about the oyster, though, is sometimes they doubt themselves. They doubt their gift. They doubt, similar to this one, the dolphin. You know, they don't realize the impact that they can make on this world. The oyster. You could become shy and doubtful of your own power, of your own magic, right? The dolphin and the oyster, beautiful. I'm going to read both to you. Patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. So as long as you put your mind to it, you can achieve it, right? The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. So maybe sometimes you take your inner gifts for granted. Maybe you take your potential for granted or your intuition for granted, right? This can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. Mission! Seriously, you have to work through this oyster energy in order to step out and share with the world. So what are you waiting to share with the world? Is it your healing journey? The knowledge you have about spirituality? Your ability to read tarot? Your artwork? Your voice? Speaking or singing? Something you've written? Right? The world is waiting to see. And that's what I talk about with mission, is that when you step into your authentic self and speak authentically, right? And you don't care what other people think, you attract the people who were meant to learn from you, just like I attracted you. It's in our soul contract. In tiny little print, it said, Kelly, you will become a Care Bear and you will dress up like a silly Care Bear, grown woman. That's a comment that I used to get, like, you're a grown woman. Why are you acting that way? I take that as a compliment. You're just jealous that, that you feel like you need to act like a grown woman, whatever that is. But it's in our soul contract. I was going to dress up like a Care Bear and you were going to see my light. And then I was going to encourage you to go after your mission. Beautiful. So when in balance, feels blessed, generous, masterful, right? When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, clams up. To bring into balance, share something. So what have you been waiting to share with the world? We're all waiting to see it. When's the grand opening? When is it happening? I want to know. And the dolphin! All of my favorite cards! What is it about this hoodie? Maybe I should start wearing it, like, all the time. It seems to bring out my authentic self. I think it's because, like, I'm in a Care Bear, like, I'm wearing a Care Bear costume. How old am I? I'm 41, and I'm wearing a cowboy. Do you want to be a cowboy? I mean, it's such a waste of a life to not be your authentic self. And it took me too many years to realize that. And the more you are authentic and you just don't give a flying what other people think, the more authentic you get, right? The dolphin, innately intelligent. Remember, I was talking about school. So maybe in your life you were told you weren't intelligent or you weren't smart or that you were stupid. I hate that word. That's like a triggering word, which is getting better. from my childhood, where I was told I was stupid. So like, even as a joke, I do not like my kids like, oh, you're so stupid. I'd be like, don't say that to someone. I had a really nice moment the other night because my kids, my kids can argue. It's actually only, my kids actually get along really well, except for one dynamic. But anyway, two of my kids were kind of like poking at each other. And one of my kids, my youngest son, started like negatively talking about himself. And, proud mama moment. Oh, maybe you're a very protective parent, like not overly protective. But that bear that came out, I was thinking of like mama bear, papa bear, parent bear. So maybe, when you need to, like maybe you have a problem protecting yourself, but when it comes to your children, you're protective, not in an overly protective way. Anyway, I can't remember what my son was saying. It was something very negative about himself, and I sat him down and I tried to explain to him about how, what you tell yourself you are, you start to believe. So if you have that negative narrative that I never do anything right, I'm too stupid, I'm a loser. I just heard that song, I'm a loser, baby. that it becomes programmed into you, just like when, we were kids. If you have criticism but not the positive reinforcement, you grow up thinking that you're that negative, like you grow up with that negative narrative. So I said to him, like, even though he's 11, I said to him, even though maybe you didn't mean anything by it, by putting yourself down, that when you put yourself down, you reinforce that negative narrative and you carry that into adulthood. Like what you tell yourself you are, you grow up believing that's what you are, right? And that's why it's so important to speak to ourselves kindly. If you wouldn't speak to your child like that, definitely don't speak to yourself like that. If you wouldn't speak to your friend like that, why are you speaking to yourself like that? I mentioned this in this other reading that when I start to, like, I had a very negative narrative from my parents, and I carried that for like 30 years. And whenever I slip back into that, whenever I'm being hard on myself, I tell myself, because this was the easiest way for me to crack it. And I talk about how also with like relationships, did I already mention this? I'm having deja vu. Did I already say this? Whenever I'm being hard on myself or I'm in a situation where like I feel like someone is mistreating me, I say to myself, if that person was treating my kid that way, would I be okay with that protective parent? I just mentioned the bear. Would I be okay with that? Or would I stop it? Like, would I allow someone to treat my kid that way? Then why am I allowing them to treat me that way? Why am I putting up with it? Or if I have like a negative spiral, I think about it. If I knew my kid was talking to themselves like that, how would that make me feel? What would I tell them to do? So anyway, it's very important that we don't give power to the negative feelings we have about ourselves. And if you have that negative narrative, although it's hard because it's deeply ingrained in you, you can retrain it by replacing it with something positive. So like if you make a mistake and you think, ugh, I'm so dumb, I'm so pathetic, replace it with, I'm really intelligent, or I just really cared about that situation. That doesn't make me pathetic, right? So anyway, innately intelligent. So you are intelligent, even if it's not the way society sees intelligence. Healer, light, blessings. Some of you are definitely meant to be healers. And again, to what that person was saying, not everybody's meant to be a healer. Who are you to say that? Like, I'm sorry, light working, healing, there's not supposed to be competition. Like, we're not supposed to put others down. That is not a light worker. Light workers are meant to raise the vibration. Light workers are meant to encourage each other, right? And lift each other up and help the world and help humanity, because the world is like a mess right now. So the more healers we get, the better. Like, I use the comparison of, or the analogy, whatever the right word is. I don't really care what the right word is. And that's something I had to overcome, because I would have my words picked apart in a very unhealthy situation. Like, I would have my words picked apart. Who cares if you don't use the right word? Doesn't mean you're dumb. But I often use the analogy, or whatever it is, of Lord of the Rings, like the battle of Middle Earth between darkness and light, right? And they were outnumbered in the Lord of the Rings. They were outnumbered by the darkness. But anyway, we should be encouraging each other to help the world, not putting each other down. So you are intelligent, active healer, strong spiritual practice. And I am someone who believes that if you have the courage and the strength to look within and heal yourself, the way that healing works, by healing ourselves, we heal others. So it's fine if you don't feel called to heal. Look at the Phoenix energy I'm getting. Phoenix. You don't have to do it like on a big platform. You don't have to do it in a big way. I have a card on my wall. I'm going to show you guys my wall. I have a card on my wall that talks about, I'm a light worker in disguise. I don't have to be loud about it. I can just be a light worker, right? But people who have that courage to look within and heal have the capacity to help heal others. And again, the world, to me, like when I was reading that wounding book, it said that the father wound, so many people have it, that if everyone healed their father wound, it would drastically change the world, right? And I believe that healing can transform the world. Like, all the trauma, all the healing that I've had to work through, it stops here. My children don't have that trauma. They have a little bit of trauma that was passed down to them just by being from me. But they haven't experienced that, and I trust and I believe they won't pass it on to their kids, right? That's why the breaking generational trauma is so important. But anybody has the capacity to be a healer. So if it's something you feel called to do, there's a reason. When out of balance, underestimates own power. I think we've all spent way too long underestimating ourselves. To bring into balance, like-minded spirits. Hello! That's us. Like-minded spirits. And when people who have this light, right, who have like this spirituality, I don't know, when we get together, we just feed off of each other, right? Like bing, 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 bing. Anyway, I love it. So the gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Human minds, muggles, conditioning, programming. There's so many people that don't believe in it, right? And once you've been through it, you're a believer. I'm a believer. What is in this thing? Is there like drugs in it? I'm just kidding. But see, I spent my entire life looking for a feeling of like happiness, right? Of fullness. And I would find it, not really. I thought I was finding it in alcohol. The real me would come out when I ate Nanaimo bars. I know that sounds crazy. My partner used to say like, uh-oh, Nanaimo Kelly is here, because I would eat there was this certain type of Nanaimo bar And I would just go crazy. But what was happening, I wasn't going crazy. I was being my authentic self. Nanaimo Kelly is my authentic self. And I found her. And when you find your authentic self, it's a beautiful thing. Anyway, dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make on the world. So, you could really underestimate yourself. Cut that out. You're amazing. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming into contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. And that's the thing, like, when you're a healer, when you're this dolphin energy, everyone you come in contact with, you change the course of their day. And that's why I feel sad for the people who are negative and go out of their way to, bring someone else down. I mentioned it in a reading a while ago that, I would hate to think of someone going home from work, right? Like if I went into somebody's place of business and I was like, you're a piece of crap, you shouldn't be doing this job, you're doing it wrong, blah, blah, blah. I would hate to think of someone going home at the end of the day, sitting down at the dinner, the dinner table, supper table, and telling their family or their spouse, like, somebody was really mean to me today and it really broke me, right? Because I've had those moments myself. I'd much rather, who wants to be that person? I want to be the person that, somebody goes home at the end of their day and they say to their partner or their kid or even their dog, like, I got paid a really nice compliment today from a total stranger, or I learned something from this person today, or they made me feel good, like something like that, right? Kids have it, and then it's programmed out of us. And when we were I know this is a reading about loving yourself, but when we were at Universal with our kids, my daughter, pure little soul, she's a Leo. She's a tough one. She's a tough cookie, but I love her. She's the one that took my cheer beer. She didn't take my cheer beer. My cheer bear hoodie. There was someone working, like controlling the lines, right? And this person probably, like, they do the same thing day after day. People treat those people in those lineups like crap. I've seen it. And she looked at me and she said, that girl's really pretty. She's like, I really want to tell that girl how pretty she is. It was like an adult person, right? And I said, you should tell her. If you think she's pretty, tell her that you think she's pretty. Don't be afraid. And so as we approached this woman, she said, I think you are so pretty. And I just got chills. The woman was like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I think you're really pretty too. And I like to think that that was a highlight of her day, right? Imagine, like, that's why I feel sad for negative people, right? Anyway, you, dolphin, don't underestimate the impact you make on this world and the people around you. I'm going to show you my wall. I always talk about showing you my wall. Just hang on. All right. So I'm going to show you the wall, like when I'm in my bed, right? This is my wall, and I'm going to show it to you. So I've taken like affirmations and put them all over my wall. And these are my colorings. And I look at these every morning and every night before I go to sleep. And it's really changed my energy. And I suggest everyone do it. Before I did this with affirmations, I actually had Post-it notes everywhere to retrain my brain. Where's the light worker one that I want to show you? Right here. See? And you know what? If you're a light worker, you can talk about it if you want to. See my affirmations? And I look at them every morning and every night. That one is true for you. All of these are true for you, okay? Oh my gosh, look at this cute picture that my daughter drew me years ago. The best mom in the world, and then mommy's tarot cards. And then I have this list, which if you want to screenshot it, these are really good affirmations. And I look at these every day. And that's my wall. I look at it every morning and every night. I'm feeling Phoenix energy again. Interesting. So, you're amazing. I appreciate the abundance that surrounds me. That's your affirmation. And abundance doesn't mean this, right? Abundance is whatever you find fulfilling. You know, your family, your pets, yourself. All right. I'm cleaning up as I go. All right, let's get you a magic one. Magical spirit, the brilliance of you. And if you don't feel like you're magic, if you don't feel like you're good enough, whose voice are you listening to? Because somebody put that in your head. And it's just not true. All right, growing pains. Exactly, growing, healing, it can be painful. So, spirit, why is my bestie magical? Why is my bestie so magical? Spirit says you don't need a reason to be magical. Interesting. Give to the mind and it gives back. The mind, inspiration, mood, cycle. I can't show it to you because there's boobies on it. See? So, what advice do you need from this card? Affirmation, I take care of my mind and it takes care of me. Funny because we were just talking about the mind, right? Our thoughts, negative thoughts. The scientist, mental clarity, brain power and peace. If we want to brighten the mind, then we must feed it light. The mind is delicate and ironically powerful. The mind is a delicate and ironically powerful center. It is fragile in the sense that it wants its owner to be gentle and kind to its needs. Only then can it be awakened to a healthy force. To be strong, the mind must be nourished in ways that best suit it. Not every mind has the same mental appetite. It must be treated with reciprocity and respect. We cannot expect so much of it. We cannot expect so much from it when we are not giving it something of equal value in return. The mind card is about mental health, creative stimulation, inspiration, and thoughtfulness. The artist must create. The scientist must experiment. The monk must meditate. The shaman must chant. The explorer must explore. We all have pieces of these archetypes within us. There is a cycle of inspiration. We must nurture them or the artist will get depressed. The scientist will go stark raving mad. We're all a little mad here. The monk lose their peace, the shaman's connection with spirit weakened, and so on. Without proper nutrients, they cannot flow or grow. Pulling the mind card can also be a positive omen that a bright, creative, and intelligent time is coming. And how do we enter that? That's why I talk about doing creative things, not work related, unless you're working on your mission. That's the gift of the mission, right? Is you love what you do. But we have to fall into that creative energy because that's where we experience like a flow state. So it's very important. Color a picture today if you feel called to. No pressure. So, a bright, creative, and intelligent time is coming, that you have been putting all of this into practice and your mind is sparkling and brimming with mental growth, new ideas, and clarity. This can be a time of stimulating momentum and strokes of brilliance in your life. Take advantage of it and continue to treat your mind with the utmost respect and love. That's magic, because I already talked about that. I said, like, I started going on about the conversation with my son. So, like, treat yourself respectfully. If you wouldn't say it to someone else, why are you saying it to yourself? Right? And on that note, the people who put you down, the people who project on others, the negative people that we talk about, that's a reflection of how they talk to themselves, right? All right, let's get you a card. What advice does my bestie need to hear? You are worthy of beautiful things. So spot on. You are so right, Spirit. Divine, magnetic, valuable. You are valuable to this world. You don't need a reason to be valuable. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to chase it. You are worthy of beautiful things. And if you don't feel worthy, again, who made you feel that way? Because that's Empress energy, number 3. All right. Your affirmation, I am worthy of the most beautiful things. I often talk about the magic of the numerology. Numerology, magical, like pay attention to the numbers you see. If you feel called to look them up, they probably have something to do with what you're going through. This one, card number 3, Empress energy. It's on page 18, which is the moon, divine feminine energy, double divine feminine energy. You are extra, extra in the most beautiful possible way. You know how people are like, that person is extra AF? Why is that an insult? I don't think it is. You are blocking your blessings by believing you don't deserve them, right? So if you feel like you don't deserve it, it might be happening subconsciously from programming. But if you don't feel like you deserve something, again, someone, the way they treated you, what they said to you, how you grew up, that was programmed into you. It's not the truth. You do deserve beautiful things. Recognize your patterns of self-sabotage and examine the choices you have been repeating. We enact and accept what we believe we are worthy of. So that's, like, I talked about this in my love reading. What you allow is how you're telling the world, like, how to treat you, right? Or you're telling a person, it's okay to treat me that way. So if somebody's mistreating you and you don't put up boundaries or you don't walk away, you're energetically, like, self-sabotaging and telling this person, that's what I think I deserve. So that keeps you attracting in the same type of energy, right? That's why self-love is so important. That's like a major lesson that I've learned, is that in order to attract in healthy love, you need a healthy, loving relationship with yourself, right? Because nothing outside of you again, I know I sound repetitive, but the love you are looking for and waiting for and longing for is right in there. Raise your standards. And again, some of us have been programmed, like for the longest time, I thought it was wrong to have standards. I thought it was like wrong to want better, right? That's like that muggle mindset, trauma. So example, if you keep attracting in connections, jobs, friendships, where it feels one-sided, where the energy isn't reciprocated, and you keep giving to those situations, you keep staying in those friendships, you keep working that job where they don't appreciate you, you keep staying in that relationship where they're being like hot and cold and whatever, the energy can't change. The cycle repeats itself. So until you, and a lot of the time that comes from a fear of abandonment, a fear that if we ask for more, we'll be rejected or someone will leave us. And guess what? If you ask someone for reciprocity or for more, or your job where you like work yourself to the bone and they don't appreciate you and you ask for a raise, and those people leave you or say no, that is a sign that they're not healthy enough to be in your energy. That's a sign that it's time to pull your energy back or find a different job or, end that friendship. And that's how you break the cycle. It doesn't matter what you've been through, where you come from, rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy circumstances, or what others think of you or tell you. It doesn't matter how others have put you down. You are still worthy. And that's the thing, like our experiences, what people, like how people put us down, all of those things can affect how worthy we feel. You are still worthy. You are a valuable soul and someone who seeks to find the magic in this world. And those who seek are the ones who find. It's so magical. All the signs and synchronicities, and people call us crazy. I think they're the crazy ones. They're really missing out on a beautiful life. My life before this, I just worked all the time. I was just meh. I wish I could show you. Maybe I could find a video of what I used to look like. You wouldn't even recognize me. My eyebrows never moved. And now my face is always like this. My eyebrows are always Just like the story of Cinderella, who was made to believe she was worthless and a servant to her family, only to be visited by a fairy godmother, spirit. Oh. Who offered her blessings and magic if she was willing to believe she was worthy of them. All she had to do was accept them, and she would go on to live a life of royalty, beauty, and abundance. She was always meant to be a queen. It's okay if you forget that you are the magic, but it's time to remember again. Come home. Spirit can only give us what we believe we are truly worthy of. So expect excellence. Speak it into existence. Summon miracles. So again, just an example, if you want to break a cycle of attracting one-sided relationships or unreciprocated energy, it starts with putting up boundaries and walking away from unreciprocated energy. Because then you're saying to the world, I deserve more. And what do you call in? And I've had it happen to me. I used to be a non-believer, but now I'm a believer. I'm seeing Donkey from Shrek. I'm a believer. But I used to hang on to some really unhealthy things. And I spoke about it just last year. I stopped giving to an unreciprocated friendship. I had held on to it for many years, afraid that if I let it go, I wouldn't have anyone. And it was almost like it happened very quickly, right? I let go. And then I connected with my bestie. I hope you're watching this, bestie. Shannon bestie. Not Michelle bestie. Although I hope you're watching this too, Michelle. It's it was just here's a person that reciprocates energy, right? The same thing happened with me and Michelle. I was in a very unhealthy situation. I decided to release it. Bam, Michelle appeared. And it's much better to be in friendships where the energy is reciprocal. You both care about each other. You never question it. Even if somebody goes silent for a little while, right? You don't question it. You're on the same vibration. You like the same things. Like, I can talk magical things, right? You deserve friends like that. You deserve love like that. You deserve to be appreciated at work. One more. Wait, there's one right there. What am I doing? Oh. That's funny. Which one do I want to read? I want to read this one. The Shaman. Lunatic. That's me. That's you. Lunatic. I take that as compliment. Insights Cosmos. Magic. So, we have, may sweet and soft things find you. Harmony, ease, inner child softness. We have growing pains, healing, patience, unconscious. And then the Shaman. Lunatic. I love that. Do you hear my kids? They're having a good time, as always. Affirmation spell. This is the Shaman. I choose to listen and dance to the secret songs of the universe, right? This deck always reminds me of Pocahontas. And when I was young, I got to tell you guys something. When I was young, I believed in fairy dust, like Tinkerbell fairy dust. I believed in it. And my dad was working on a cruise ship because my dad worked away as like a radio officer. And it was, the time we went to Disney World when I was a kid. It's not like we went all the time. It was only because he worked on the cruise ship and it was going to Miami. I love the way my brain works. Miami by Will Smith just popped into my head. Welcome to Miami. Anyway, I wanted to get like fairy dust from Disney World because I believed it would work. And I was ridiculed for believing in stuff like that. When I was young, I felt like Pocahontas. I felt like a connection to the trees and the animals, and then it was programmed out of me. Anyway, this is like a weird reading. 30. Empress energy. It's on page 103. I choose to listen and dance to the secret songs of the universe. The crazy, the shaman. So people call you crazy, but really you're the shaman. The one who sees, lunatic, is a word derived from the Latin word luna, meaning moon. So a lunatic is one who is moonstruck. So think about it. They call crazy people lunatics, or spiritual people. You're a lunatic. That's actually a compliment because it's Luna, connected to the moon. Magical. There is a face on the moon. Can you see it in the night even when others cannot? This is the great paradox of the mystic. You hear the whispers that others cannot. You hear the secret songs of the universe. You see the secret language of the universe. Signs, synchronicities. It's okay to be an outsider in a world of conformity and contempt. A world where those who are different are met with rejection from society. Thank you for rejecting me, society. It's the best thing you've ever done. Rejection is protection. Even if they are shamans, the seekers and artists who point us to the way of the... Even if they are shamans, the seekers and artists who point us to the way of the truth, soul, transformation. Mission. The moon is beaming sacred truths, mysteries, and visions to the one who can receive them. So again, I feel bad for the people who don't see the magic and can't experience the magic. What a I mean, I used to be there. It's a sad, dull existence. Mr. Crow is outside. You know, like, think about the people who hear a crow and it doesn't even register that they're hearing a crow. Or they don't notice the bird flying past them, or like, imagine. Imagine not feeling the colors in the wind. Pocahontas. Where am I? Some people have a special gift of insight that is revealed to them during certain times. It is in the divine order of the cosmos for those who are chosen. So we spend our lives feeling rejected when really we're the chosen ones. Not in a creepy, like, cult kind of a way. Pulling the Shaman card can be a call to embrace more of your crazy side. See? Be crazy. That's the way you attract people like you. Or tune into it more at this time. You may be judged by others, but what you gain is far superior to their disapproval. And remember how I started this reading? Like, that's one of the things I said. I don't care what you think. The world needs more mystics and shamans to show us the soul of the world. Mission! To point us away from the suffocation of too much conformity, mundane. Okay, I know it's mundane. Mundanity? I don't know. And stagnation. The energy behind this card is that of dreams, ideas, and visions, especially spiritual and creative ones. You see the theme in this reading. Empress. No. It says express. I automatically saw Empress. Express, act on, create, and share the oyster. Share what you are receiving from the mysterious. Harness your power of insight. Do not let it fade away and dim within you. In other words, use it or lose it. The more you do, the stronger it'll become. That's what I always tell you guys. It's like a muscle. It's like that tiny little piece of sand in the never-ending story, right? The more wishes you make, the more you trust the magic, the more you see the magic, the stronger it becomes. The more you see, the more crazy things that happen, right? I cannot go anywhere without finding a feather. People who don't see the feathers, they don't get feathers sent to them because they wouldn't notice them. Chosen ones, you know? I'm having so much fun. Harmony, sweetness, ease, inner child softening. And that's one thing about connecting to your authentic self. You want to know who your authentic self is? It was you as a child before you were programmed. It was you as a child before you were told that you were being too loud, too silly, you were believing in make-believe, before you had trauma, you know, before you were afraid to, like, share your voice. That's like little authentic you. Maybe you were 2, maybe you were 3. It kind of gets programmed or traumatized out of us pretty quickly. So connecting to your inner child is a huge part of being your authentic self, right? It's why I just let my kids be their authentic selves. Your affirmation. I appreciate and attract the sweetness of life. The perfect pair, a beautiful harmony, the loving flower that provides the sweet nectar, the generous bee that provides the nourishing pollination. Both of these have so much to teach us. They are lighthearted, bring beauty, and flow with the natural rhythm of life. They are warm with golden hues. They appreciate the balance and offerings each provides. Magic happens when true harmony is achieved through delightful processes and the law of least effort. Some of the most beautiful things seem to exist effortlessly and in tune with the forces that be. Is it possible for a human to access this potent elixir, this nectar of life, the hummingbird nectar? What if you, hummingbird, what if, like the bee, you were to seek out the sweetness of life? What if you sought out the flowers of the world, leaning more towards what is soft, attracts your spirit, and brings joy? What if that actually led you to more growth, potential, and peace rather than the daily grind of forcing, disciplining, and controlling? What if, like the flower, you offered your own natural sweetness up to life itself? What if that would attract the bee, the right people, opportunities, actions, pollination? So I was always this crazy. But with that past friendship, I dialed it way down, right? When you're pretending to be somebody else, when you're masking who you are, very common for autistic people or undiagnosed, you attract the wrong people. If you're pretending to be somebody else, you're going to attract in that type of person, right? The more authentic you are, the more crazy you are, the more you're a lunatic, you attract the people similar to you. Like me. So, what if you attracted, where was I? You offered your own natural sweetness up to life itself. What if that would attract the bee, the right people, opportunities, actions, pollination that your life needs, without having to strain to be what you think the world wants you to be? What if what was truly needed in this world is more softness, kindness, love, joy, ease, and magic? You know, the way that I awakened was coming into contact very serendipitously with someone who believed in all of this magic. She came in, she activated me, we triggered each other, and then I never saw her again. I still think of her. I still have appreciation and gratitude for her. It's almost like, it's like a smile, right? Like it's hard to smile, like it's hard for someone to smile at you and for you not to smile back. They always say smiles are contagious. Magic is contagious. Perhaps it is our childlike nature, spiritual side, wonder, and playfulness that we need to bring out more, to be easily amused by the beauty of the world, to see the miracles in the mundane, like the birdies and the flowers and the different bugs and finding things and shapes in the clouds, right? And anyway, the moon. To open up instead of closing down, to create, live, and love from a playful joy, to nurture the child within us. Maybe that is what's best. No, maybe that is the best way to receive the honey of existence. Honey, you're my honey. And growing pains, because it's not all like love and light and rainbows. I talk about that all the time, right? We're not toxic positivity. It takes, you have to go through the darkness to find your light. Healing, patience, unconscious self-awareness. I trust in the process of my healing. It's 19. Healing, the sun. It's also on page 69, which my kids like to laugh at, but is actually quite a magical number. The healer, the garden that tends itself. Empress energy, tending to your own garden. The therapist. You seek to be an awakened one in your family. This isn't always easy. And what's interesting is maybe you weren't even seeking it. It's just part of your soul contract, right? And it can be hard to be the only one in your family healing. Black sheep. This isn't always easy as it involves taking on a larger responsibility and role in your lineage. You are seeking something more fulfilling, truthful, and of the heart. This requires patience with your psyche and security within your soul. By living intentionally and choosing to be conscious of the choices you make, you are activating transformation at a DNA level. This can be felt as a collective consciousness level as well. This is powerful work. Your ancestors are so proud to have passed the torch down to you. This is how I see it. My muggle mind, logically, programming, society, logical thinking would be like, sure, I'm this 41-year-old lady in a Care Bear, like a Care Bear costume, and I'm the one that's come to save my ancestors. Like, doesn't make logical sense, right? But if you look at the spirituality of it, like I talked about breaking cycles, like it's so easy to doubt it or think that you're crazy or a lunatic, you know? Like, look at me. I'm the one that was chosen to fix my ancestral line. But it's important work because it'll change the world. Anyway, I sound like I should have a, that friend that I had, she would tell me that I should be wearing a tinfoil hat. Like, come on now. That's not love. Where was I? So, like, I know my ancestors are proud of me. I know that I'm making a difference, even though, it's not a difference in the sense of the whole world, but it is in my bloodline. You have done so much already, far more than you know. Pulling the Growing Pains card invites you to employ more patience with yourself on your healing journey, because it is like up and down. Maybe I'm like acting like a crazy lunatic Care Bear right now, but like 5 days ago, I was like having depression because it wasn't that bad, but I did slip into like a very dark, negative place because I couldn't move and I couldn't get out of bed and I couldn't do the things like I wanted to do. It's an up and down process. Again, it's not just like, oh, I'm healed. I see rainbows everywhere, right? You have to grow through the darkness, like dark night of the soul, right? It's not easy. Where was I? You are unlearning and undoing generations of toxic patterns and beliefs. This will naturally be challenging, uncomfortable, and even painful at times. This is why they are called growing pains. They are a necessary part of healing. This card also wants to remind you that you were chosen for this path, that your soul chose this mission of healing for you, that this is your initiation. This is what walking through the fire looks like, Phoenix, so that you may reach a peaceful, abundant valley. And I can tell you, the things that I'm going through, the things that I experience, the abundance, the spirituality, the happiness, the blessings, the gratitude, I can almost guarantee you that I'm the first one in my bloodline in a very long time. Be proud of yourself and continue to do your best as you find your way. Celebrate small victories, like when you set boundaries or are less reactive, or break a toxic trait. And don't repeat the poison of the past. This is the work, and you have accepted your mission, whether you've realized it or not. And like a lot of people have this mentality that, oh yeah, it's in your soul contract. Yeah, right. And you know what? Your next life will be amazing, right? That's what I believe, that all this work that we're doing, because again, if you're listening, if you're still listening to me, you are a cycle breaker. You are spiritual. You are the one in your family who's chosen to heal. And think about it. All the healing you're doing in this life, your next life is going to be amazing. And we'll find each other in that lifetime too. Okay. Apparently that deck was not just about loving on yourself, but let's get why you're so amazing. Ooh, this deck is hard to shuffle. Here, I might have to I might have to shuffle it upside down. Hang on. I just saw 456 on the timer and 456 on the clock. Magic. Do you know what that means? I don't technically know what it means off the top of my head. But when I see numbers in alignment like that, you are living in alignment. Do you know how many people out there are not living in alignment? A lot. All right. Why is my bestie so amazing? 3 of Swords. That's a perfect one. You've overcome heartbreak. You've overcome pain. You have the strength to heal. You don't just sweep that wound under the carpet, right? You are healing. That takes amazing strength. Possibly from father wounds. All right. Why you're so amazing. I agree. I agree. Ace of Swords. You're honest. Very honest. You know? Maybe a really good communicator. Not afraid to look at the truth. But maybe your unhealed version was afraid to look at the truth, right? Maybe you see through the programming or you see through the facade, right? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. You are learning so many lessons. You are a powerful soul. You see the lessons in things and then you integrate those lessons and you learn from them, heal them, and the cycle ends. You know? You could be good at bringing people together, or you could be good at like forgiving people, repairing connections if it's in alignment with you. But I'm hearing cycle breaker with this one. And again, I feel like you've hit rock bottom and you took the opportunity to rise. 10 of Swords in reverse. Beautiful. Breaking generational patterns. Page of Cups. One thing that's amazing about you is you do have that inner child within you, even if you're still working on finding it. You have like a childlike innocence, curiosity for life. Maybe people call you naive. Beautiful. You also have some sort of like, you're very creative. You're willing to see new perspectives. Good with children. There's something magical about you because the Page of Cups also talks about someone like learning about like spirituality, learning about magic. You know, after everything you've been through, you still have an innocence about you, which is a lot of people become very hard and jaded. 7 of Pentacles. You're serious about what you invest your energy in. And you know, you trust that what you pour your energy into, you will see the investments of it. Maybe you're investing in many things right now. You're a hard worker. You have patience. Maybe not all the time. You're investing in yourself. And when something you've been investing in, maybe these are things you need to work on, but maybe when something is not showing you the fruits of your labor, right? You're learning to stop investing in it. Like I talked about with reciprocal energy. King of Cups. Emotionally intelligent and mature. A healer. Someone who's learning to keep cool, calm, level-headed in the face of judgment, anger, arguments. So maybe in the past you get really triggered. You put in effort. You're a lover. You put a lot of effort into love. Very loving individual. And this is what you deserve in love. You deserve your own King of Cups or Queen of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. Oh, the Ace of Cups. Very intuitive, very loving. You have a lot of love to give. And when you have a lot of love to give and you're unhealed, You end up in connections or situations where you overgive. You're emotional. You were probably told as a child, you're a lover, right? You're a giver. I can see it here. But you were probably told as a child that you were too emotional, or that you were too much, or that you were too needy, or you cried too much, or your feelings were too much, right? Which is not the truth. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. I bet you're an empath. I love empaths. I bet you can read energy. I bet you can sense when people you love aren't feeling great, or when somebody you love gets quiet, right? Very intuitive. And one of the most beautiful things about you is you're working on your self-love. You're learning how to love yourself. I think that you have a lot of love to give others. I think you pour your love into, again, whatever you're invested in. So in friendships, I bet you're a really good gift giver, is what I'm hearing. We have the Two of Cups. So once you work on self-love, Ace of Cups, you are ready for reciprocal love, right? If you love yourself, you value yourself, and you come across someone who doesn't value you and like non-reciprocal energy, you love yourself enough. And again, maybe you're still working on this, but you would love yourself enough to say, no, I deserve more than this. And that's what I'm seeing here. You are ready for more. I think that you have a very again, I keep hearing you're a giver, you're a lover when you're in a relationship, when you're in a friendship, when you're at a job. And this Two of Cups is very symbolic of, blocked throat chakra. I think that you are ready for someone to meet you where you are. You're ready for mutual energy. Like once you have that self-love. And that's the thing. People who are lacking this self-love and come into a Two of Cups situation, which is just like an energy exchange between two people, friends, love, family, they can overgive. They can put up with less than they deserve. I think you make an amazing partner, an amazing friend. You could be very good at when there's conflict, you could want to find resolution, right? With that Ten of Swords in reverse, you could want to fix it. Maybe at times it can be unhealthy because you're dealing with someone who just wants to argue, right? But I feel overall, you're open and honest and heartfelt. And when there's conflict, you want to find, resolution. Very good partner, very good friend energy. And we have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is beautiful because it's showing me that when something doesn't feel aligned with you, you're learning to pull your energy back. You're learning to let go. Hanged Man energy is also about new perspectives. So again, some people who are very wounded or very programmed are very set in their perspectives, right? It can only be this way. Oh, you act like that, then you're this. Or it's my way or the highway, or your perspective doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But people who are like you are someone who is willing to see the other person's perspective and try to understand the other person's perspective. And actually, I was going to pull cards about the type of love you deserve. I already know. I don't have to pull cards. The way I'm describing you, that is the energy that you deserve. And that's why it matters how we love ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, we attract in an energy that's not going to it's not going to meet us, right? It's going to meet us where we are. So everything I'm saying about you, that's what you deserve in love. That's what you deserve in friendship. You deserve the energy of you in another person. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups. Beautiful. Highly intuitive, the moon. Oh my gosh, my phone's gonna die. I'm gonna have to charge this before I get your affirmations. The moon, highly intuitive, feminine energy. Maybe you had a problem with feminine energy before you healed, right? But highly intuitive, magical. Daddy, daddy. I can hear my kids, daddy. Maybe you had father issues. Nine of Cups. Oh, I love this one. Look at it. I was, this deck, like, look how beautiful it looks, right? My only disappointment in this deck is that the cards are, like, glossy. They'd be much more beautiful if they were matte. Anyway. Nine of Cups. So one of your strengths, something that's lovely about you, is that you have a positive mindset. And again, maybe it's not always there. Maybe it's been traumatized out of you, right? Programmed out of you. But I think that you have a very positive mindset, right? You could believe in wishes. You could believe in magic. And you're working towards Nine of Cups. Everybody always says wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is an independent energy, 9. And it's about feeling fulfilled within your own energy. So one amazing thing about you right now is that you're learning to find fulfillment within your own energy. Again, that fulfillment isn't outside of you. You're not seeking outside fulfillment. You're finding and healing. By healing, finding the fulfillment within, which is beautiful. Knight of Pentacles, very determined, very committed. Like once you put your mind to something, once you make a promise, Knight of Pentacles, very determined. I love the Knight of Pentacles. It might be slow moving, hard worker, determined. And right, maybe in the past you put that all that determination and hard work into the wrong things, right? Like work or unreciprocated energy. Very determined, down to earth, very committed. So once you commit yourself to something, that's it, right? Loyal. Whoa, loyal is what I'm hearing. 8 of Cups. That's a really amazing thing about you, is that you've had the power to walk away from accepting less than you deserve. You've had to walk away from things you love because you knew it wasn't right for you. Possibly even family, right? That's how you get to the 9 of Cups. So 8 of Cups, you've been through it. That's what this is telling me. That you've had to make the hard decision to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, even if it means something that you love, like your family, right? Cycle breakers are often, in my experience, maybe I'm wrong, but Tower, in my experience, hang on. I'm just going to plug you in. In my experience, it's really hard to break cycles when you're still in the family dynamic, right? So a lot of cycle breakers have had to have the courage to walk away from their family, even though they love their family, right? Oh my. I'm going to keep that. It just fell off the deck. There's something in your past that you walked away from that you loved very much because you chose yourself. And again, to get to that 8 of Cups energy, 9 of Cups, sorry. To get to that 9 of Cups energy, it means going through the 8 of Cups energy. So walking away from less than you deserve. Maybe you have avoidant tendencies that you've been healing with the 8 of Cups. That's such a beautiful 8 of Cups. What just came out? Where did it go? The 4 of Wands. You are worth celebrating. Again, I think you're good at buying presents for people or like remembering what people like. Maybe you're working on your stability right now. But you're You're worth being celebrated with the Four of Wands. That's what this is telling me. You're worth being celebrated. Maybe you walked away from your family to focus on your own stability, your own journey, right? Your own family, like if you have kids. You know, you are worth marrying with the Four of Wands. Anybody would be lucky to marry you. That's what I'm seeing. King of Cups, Four of Wands. You're a catch. And that's what you deserve. This is also about union, right? Not with another person, with you. So you have the strength to work towards inner union with yourself, which includes healing, self-love, right? Painful growth. Making hard decisions, learning hard lessons. I hope you're in inner union with yourself. That's what I hope for you. And again, all of these things that I'm describing to you, I'm shaking the phone a little because I'm holding it. That's what you deserve in a partner. That's what you deserve in a friendship. That's what you deserve in your mission or career, is someone who sees the amazing person that you are. I just cut the deck because I have to hold my phone so I can't shuffle. So I just cut the deck and we have the Devil. So one amazing thing about you, you are self-aware. Do you know how many people out there that are not self-aware? It's a lot. You've had the courage to look at your shadows. You've had the courage to release unhealthy attachments, to heal codependency. Again, maybe this is all what you're working towards, right? Just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you're not worthy or not amazing. You've had the courage to fight addiction, to fight codependency, to heal toxic patterns in your family's bloodline, to not allow toxic situations in your life anymore. That takes so much strength. And that's what you deserve. You deserve someone who's not toxic, someone who's self-aware, someone who's healthy. I'm just going to keep cutting the deck for a few minutes until I have enough battery for my affirmations. Page of Pentacles. You've had fresh starts. You've had to start over, right? Page of Pentacles, creative projects, mission, study of magic is what I'm hearing. You know, again, this is about growth. So of course you've been through this energy if you're Knight of Pentacles, right? It starts with the page. Maybe one of the wonderful things about you, pages, right? Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. One of the wonderful things about you could be, if you're a parent, that you are raising healthy, authentic little individuals, right? Not passing the toxic cycles onto them. For some of you, maybe you've even had to remove your children out of bad situations, right? I think you'd make a very good parent if you're not already. We have the Fool. So when you feel called to, you're not afraid to take the leap of faith and start a new beginning. And maybe this was all hard for you to come by, right? Like, again, it takes a lot of work to get into the energy that I'm seeing here. Ace of Swords, Page of Swords. Something about children. Page of Swords is like learning too. We have the Chariot. This is the last one I'm going to pull. You've had the courage to move forward, to move on from bad situations. Maybe you love to travel, right? The Chariot. One amazing thing about you is you've taken control of your own life, your own healing, right? I think it's very common for, you know, our parents. I don't care how old you are. I think it's very common for our parents, like the mindset of them, and it's programmed into them, is like, why are you still holding on to that? What, like, oh, your childhood was so horrible, right? Like, their tendency was to like sweep their trauma under the rug, right? Anyway, you're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's see if I can just, I'm going to lay the cards out because I have to hold my phone. It's still not charged. I'm just going to lay, no, actually, I could probably unplug it for a minute. My poor partner, he's like, let me know when you want me to start supper. And I'm like up here, like losing sense of time. Let me see if I can unplug. There we go. So, affirmations for you. It's getting dark. What do you need to know? Affirmations for you. All right, what do we got? I follow my bliss. So follow what makes you happy, right? When we follow the things that aren't fulfilling us, that don't make us happy, we're going the wrong way, right? If something like, example, a relationship, a job, a friendship, if it's not making you happy, it's not aligned with you. It's getting very dark. I welcome miracles into my life. Again, if you believe in miracles, miracles happen. Anything can happen, anything can happen, anything can happen. Who's that sings that? I don't know. I am in perfect balance. So you're working towards finding balance in your life. You might be struggling with it. I struggle with it a bit, but you're working towards it. I open my heart to love, to healed love. Look at that heart. It's whole. It's not an outline. It's not a broken heart. And again, you deserve the type of lover that you are. That's what you deserve. And you need to believe that, right? Again, oftentimes we find ourselves in unhappy situations and we hold on hoping for change. The change starts with us. All right, I have 2 more affirmation decks. They're pretty basic. Not like us. We are lunatics. And we are crazy. Ooh, that one really wanted to come out. Your life is a story, and you are the main character. I've been saying this lately in love readings. You are the main character in your story. Imagine you're watching a movie of yourself, right? Step back. Imagine you're in a movie. Imagine you're in like a job that you hate where they mistreat you, right? If you were watching yourself on that screen, what would you be yelling at your favorite character? What would you be telling the main character? Get out of there. You deserve better. So try to look at your life as a movie where you're the main character. What would you be yelling at that main character right now? I love that. You're one of a kind. Exactly. You're not one of those programmed people. You're authentic. There's nobody in this world like you. And it's high time that you love yourself. Today is a great day to be amazing. You are amazing. Didn't I say that like 2 minutes into this? Every day is a great day for you to be amazing. Are you enjoying our date? Let's get another one. Be bold, be bright, be you. Don't be afraid to be crazy. Don't be afraid to be unhinged. Don't be afraid to be yourself. You know, I don't believe in having regrets, but I do think of the past version of me and wish that I wish she had found herself sooner, right? It's such a waste to go through life not liking yourself and not loving yourself. Such as I am a precious gift. You are. You're definitely a gift in my life. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Oscar Wilde. And again, until you love yourself, it's hard to call in the right energy. And again, we put so much emphasis on romantic love. There should be more emphasis on self-love. It's so dark in here. I guess I could turn on the light. Hang on. Don't look at my belly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a little better. Okay, so I haven't touched this deck in forever. I think it's called Affirmators, like superheroes. It's such a cute deck. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know. You know what? They want to come out for a reason. If I had better eyesight, I was going to stick these all over my wall, but I couldn't read them from far away. So these are your affirmations. Look at how many came out. Cheerfulness. I embrace a state of cheerfulness, even on days when I don't wake up feeling that way. Again, don't ever deny yourself feeling your feelings, right? Like you don't have to, if you wake up feeling rough, if you wake up feeling sad, it's okay to sit in those feelings. You don't have to cram them down. Maybe just like, again, that's kind of like toxic positivity, right? So feel what you need to feel and then appreciate the small blessings in your life. Knowing that moods are contagious, especially in enclosed spaces, I'd rather not cause an outbreak of crankiness and complaints. Instead, I'll strive to be the patient zero of joy and laughter. They might even make a Lifetime movie about me. That's cute. Boundless love. Today, I'll open my eyes a little wider and walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it's easy to fall in love over and over and over again, with everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else sort of falls into place. It's time to fall in love with yourself. 333 on the timer as I said that. I know that life and the people living it can be an absolute bummer sometimes, but I promise not to let unhappy chapters make me jaded. If I let negative experiences turn me sour, then the jerks win. Exactly. So I'll move on with an open and a hopeful heart, if only because I hate losing to jerks. And you're giving them your power, right? Grace. I face disagreements with grace, King of Cups, and flow through the ups and downs of my relationships without getting thrown off center. With grace, I'm able to keep my cool and be my best self and not resort to name calling, even when that crappy poo-poo face is being a douchey barf monster. Can you imagine? You're being a crappy poo-poo face douche barf monster. That's funny. And if you do get triggered, right? Like one thing I want to say to you, because a lot of people with wounding can be highly reactive. So forgive yourself for the times that you were reactive and resorted to name calling. Follow your heart. I'm always rewarded when I follow my heart. I trust that my GPS in my heart knows all the best routes. And when it seems like it's taking too long to get where I want, I know that's because there's some cool, weird stuff to see along the way. So if it doesn't make your heart happy, it's not the right direction. Okay? All right. I wonder what my partner is going to think. Where are you? Are you okay? Have you fallen asleep? All right, my friends. I'm going to take myself and go hang out with my kids. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Happy Valentine's Day. You're my Valentine. Be your own Valentine. Love on yourself. Remember, what do you love about yourself? Do you hear my kids? Ha! They're like laughing at the top of their lungs. I love it. Anyway, I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for spending time with me, and I love you. And night night.